Whoa, Metro, Metro, Metro. Whoa. Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god. We did it. Oh my god. Yes. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, I don't know how big this fish is. Oh my. I don't know how big this fish is. I think she'll go 7 something. I'm not too sure. I hope. £7, 5 ounces. Biggest fish I've ever caught out of this lake. Awesome. All right, one last look at this fish. My biggest one this year. She held at 7.5. Not the double I'm looking for, but I'm doing something right. Okay, that is a huge fish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get this fish back on her way. I'm still shaking. She held at 7 pounds, 5 ounces. My biggest fish thus far, or my biggest fish this year, excuse me. That is a huge fish on the Bellows Gill 5.8. All right, let's get her back on her way here. Look at how thick her shoulders are. There she goes. Wow, I mean, same situation as yesterday. We were about to leave, or I'm here by myself today, so I was about to leave, and I decided to hit this part one last time, because this is like around the same area where we caught the big fish yesterday. If you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out. It was last video. We caught a 6 pound, 12 ounce fish, which I was very excited about. That was the biggest fish I've ever seen caught out of this lake in real life. And so I decided to come fish the area again. I promise that was not the same fish. I'm still in like the same half of the lake. So I was like, hey, I mean, this is a big fish area. And I've caught a lot of like 4 or 5 pounders here. So I'm gonna go give it a shot, you know? And I fished this area that looks really good. And I've never caught a fish there ever. And so I just flipped the Bellows Gill in there. And I was letting it sink. And then it just stopped. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then I reeled up and I felt the weight of the fish. I was like, all right. And I reel set. I set the hook. And I didn't know how big she was. I knew she was huge. She like darted straight for the pads and she took me in there. And I kind of started freaking out. And then I saw her like come up right next to the board. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a huge fish. And so I didn't do anything funny or silly. All right. I netted the fish as fast as I could. And I got her in. Sorry, I'm kind of shaking. That's the biggest fish I've caught all year. That's the biggest fish I've caught in a while. I have not broke 7 pounds in a long time, so that was very relieving. I've caught a bunch of 5s, a few 6s recently, and that was the first one that I've had in a long time that broke 7. She tore up my thumb, if you can see that. But I'm very pleased with how this day turned out. It was kind of like the video before this, where we weren't catching a ton of fish, which was strange because a few days before this I was having 20 plus fish days, which was insane. And I came out here and I caught 2 fish, and I've been fishing for about 5 hours. And then I caught that one. So that just goes to show that sometimes, like, maybe the fish aren't biting as in, like, all the fish in the lake as a whole, but it may mean that the fish will bite, as in, like, your PB, your biggest, or whatever you consider a big fish. If someone gets that tattooed, let me know. Maybe, like, on your lower back. The fish aren't biting, but the fish bit, you know. That's hard, honestly. I just came up with that on the spot. But, yeah, on the Bellows Gill 5.8, my God. I preach that bait all the time, so I'm really glad I have, like, something big to show for it. I think that's the second biggest bass that I've ever caught. I've caught a 9, like a flat 9. It just went 9. And I caught that 7.5. And I can't think of any fish I've caught that are in between those two, which is crazy. So I don't know. I'm very happy. I'm actually going to talk about the Bellows Gill for a minute. So if you want to stay tuned for that, go ahead. But this is probably the end. This is likely the end of the fishing part. I'm just going to finish this little little stretch of the lake. The boat ramp is like not far away. So I'm just going to fish this a little bit, see if I can get one more. And wow, I'm very happy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is post-production Knowles Fishing here. I kind of just wanted to talk about my setup when I caught that fish. I really hope the audio isn't bad, so if it is, I'm sorry. But so, Bellows Gill 5.8. This is from G-Crack. I really like this bait. I don't think there's anything I can say about it that I haven't said already. You guys have seen me skip it. You guys have seen me reel it over pads. You guys have seen me bottom bounce it now. Maybe I've done it a little bit, or I have done it a little bit before, but I'm just not a huge fan of bottom bouncing. It's like probably one of my least favorite techniques just because it's kind of boring. I have TikTok brain, so I think dragging a soft bait can be very grueling, but this one gets the job done and it gets bit. And I think that fish definitely showed me that fish proved to me that like bottom bouncing is a very good way to catch huge fish. So I think I'm going to do more bottom bouncing, definitely with this bait in specific. I just thought like with the profile and everything, with it being so flat and with you being able to hide the hook so well in the ribs, I just thought it'd be perfect for skipping and reeling it over pads and such. And it is really good, but I think I'm going to start bottom bouncing this bait more after I saw what it could do, you know, after having like a real big fish experience while bottom bouncing. That was the second biggest bass I've ever caught in my life. So I think bottom bouncing is definitely on the agenda for the future. Once again, this is the Bellows Gill 5.8. I run a 6/0 beast hook in here. I don't know what the weight is, but you can just choose whichever one. This is probably the lightest one that they offer because the Florida water isn't very deep. And I kind of like having the option to like reel it in the middle of the water as well, or on top whenever I want. And I think a super heavy weight kind of just like ruins the chance of me ever being able to reel it on top, or it'll at least make it a lot more challenging. But yeah, Bellows Gill 5.8, 6/0 beast hook. All right, so for the line, I am running 15-pound fluorocarbon. This may be a little bit risky to some of you. This may be very questionable, but I think with the reel set, and if you don't know what the reel set is in the clip, you can see I'm bouncing. I get bit, and I kind of reel down, and I like reel all of my slack out of my fluoro. So fluoro is meant to stretch, not a lot, not like mono, but it's meant to be kind of in between braid and mono. And so what I like to do is I like to reel and get all the slack out of my line, especially when I'm fishing a worm, and then I swing. I'll do it with a spinner bait. I'll do it with any of those single hook baits that you really need all the power you can get to drive the hook into those fish. But I think with big soft baits like this, especially with that 6/0 beast hook right there, I think it can be very challenging to drive the hook into these fish the right way. So I think reel setting just gives you that little bit of like extra like protection that you may need to land more fish. So yeah, 15-pound fluoro. On the reel side of things, this is a Shimano Calcutta Conquest 200 HG. I have a 100 millimeter handle on here. I think this reel is the best reel that this is the best reel that I've ever fished. It casts very well. I don't think I have to say anything. This is probably the first and last time you'll hear me talk about it. I don't know, maybe I'll make like a breakdown on it in the future, but I really like this reel. I think the HG is perfect. This is the 6-to-1 gear ratio. It might be 6.2 or 6.8 to 1. I'm not too sure. like I said, there's a creature trying to eat my feet, so I have to kind of like move around here. But I think the 6-to-1 gear ratio is very important for the paddleboard because I can only carry a limited amount of rods, and I think the 6-to-1 gear ratio allows me to fish anything, almost anything, fast or slow, whether that be a worm or the Metro or anything like that. I can honestly fish it all. All right, last but not least, on the rod side of things, this is not a soft bait rod. I'm sorry I have to cut it short there. I have to keep my lips sealed, but I promise, once I get the green light, I will spill the beans. I'll tell you everything I know. I'll tell you everything about this rod. I will tell you all the pros and cons. I will do a nice breakdown on this rod because I've been fishing it for a little bit now, and I caught a big fish on it. And I think I've caught enough fish to where I can kind of sum it up pretty well. But anyways, that's it for the video. Oh, also, that is the biggest fish I've ever caught from the paddleboard. So that fish is very special to me. And this is actually the exact same bellows gill that I caught it on. And as you can see, it's like not super ripped up. The ribs are like, as you can see, the ribs are kind of ripped, but that just happens from burying the hook in there so much. That'll happen with 2 and 3 pounders. And I could still catch a few more fish on this thing, which is awesome. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching this far. This was kind of just for the people who care, honestly. If you're just here for the fishing, you can just click off in the first 4 minutes. I don't really mind. But if you did stay for this long, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support. We hit 1,000, which was very cool. I don't think I talked about that on camera, but that's awesome. Thank you guys. I'm gonna keep going. I don't really know what else to say. Thank you guys for the support, and thank you for watching this awesome, amazing video with a humongous fish. And since I don't know what to say, I'm gonna pass it to my buddy here, and he is gonna do the outro. So, do you want to finish it for me?